Hello, Storytelling Run. I'm going to do another video on making characters. Now, I did a basic video of this on the Dark Ages making a character video, so I don't want to go over everything again, but I want to explain how I do it a little differently in Apostles of the Apoc and Christians in Space. Same, you could make the character exactly the same, but I've added a little bit of a flair to the other settings, and let me explain that real quick. Okay, in the Apostles of the Apoc, the character is kind of made as you role play. The GM, literally, this is the way I played it out, and I really enjoyed this process. And this is just mainly for a Apocalypse one. You know, the setting is that you're in a bunker, you're all living together, kind of like in Fallout. You're all living together in a bunker, you're all Christians, you're all doing your thing. And you role play that out. You discuss, like the colonel and the chaplain say, all right, you guys are ready to go out, you know, into the wastelands and start doing your mission work. What have you trained? What have you done? So they role play that out. They talk to each other, like who does what? Oh, what have I worked on? What have you worked on? And as they do, the GM starts filling out the character sheet, and he only does a few basic things, and they can fill out the rest. But he can sort of, based on what they say, and the players can kind of, work with the GM as well. But they should really just role play, talk to each other like they're in character. And, the chaplain and colonel could be there showing them like the transport they get, the supplies they get, because this is the list of supplies, all the weapons they get, because they get a transport, right? Let me see if I can show a picture of it. So here they get a transport, and a little picture there. I should have the transport on here. What's wrong with, okay, well, here's the transport stats. I don't have the picture of the transport on here, but this is the stats of the actual RV or whatever, but it's like a souped up bus RV that looks, they made to look like a wasteland vehicle. But this is all the weapons you get in it, all the gears in there. So literally, and this is just a weapon chart, with all the stuff. But they discuss, as players, what they want. So then the GM will add in the different numbers here: 3 + 3 + 1 + 2 + 1 0 -1 -2 to the traits, and they can just pick out their weapons, and fill that in. And obviously you have a heavy 2, medium 3, light 4. Now this is the gear, like I said in the previous video on the Dark Ages making a character. This is the gear you generally carry on you when you go out, okay, on missions. The transport that you're in, the RV bus transport, generally stays by the road because the terrain is obviously all wasted, and so you're gonna have plenty of times where you gotta park the RV and then go out and search the area, the ruins and stuff. So the character will decide which ones they generally carry, and that's only heavy, medium, light. Now, if they carry more than that, they're going to be at a penalty, obviously. Additional gear is just stuff they find, and I don't as a GM, if they find extra stuff out there, additional gear, I give them a couple of, I kind of let them carry a couple of things back to the transport. I don't really worry about it in the sense, I feel like they're carrying it, and if something happens, they drop it and fight or whatever. So additional gear, not stuff that they willingly choose from the transport and bring with them, that I will penalize them for. But if they find something out there, as long as it's within reason, they can add it to their additional gear and then bring it back to the transport. Here's blessing skills extra. This is just, where however you want to put the blessings or skills in there. Again, defense, armor save, vitality, exactly the same as the Dark Ages. So please look at that video. Here's, weapons, same stuff. Got the faith points, everything's the same. Okay. Now this is just a guide for the different types of professions they could be, or you as a GM could kind of put them into. Oh wow, these are all old. I gotta update these things. I'm working on that right now. Once I finish the Christians in Space one. But these are all suggested skills that if they go that direction, and the GM could fill these out on their character sheet. Really, they should. It's fun to have them talk amongst each other and say who's doing what. What are you doing? Or I'm going to be security. I'll do medical and driving. I've been training for that. I'm ready for that. That kind of role playing. And whoever role plays a little extra, you can give them a little extra reward for that. And just a little competition there of who can role play better, talking to each other, preparing, getting all the stuff in the RV. Talking to the colonel and chaplain, getting some prayers going, talking with their family, having prayers about going out, and stuff like that. So it's a really fun episode to do. It's like a session 0, but you really encourage them to role play, be in character for the character build. And then once they're done, you can give them the sheet, and then they can kind of finish it up, fill it out. And this is the gear, and this gear is all in their transport. So you give them a copy of this. This page here. I mean, this is a pretty handy page to have the weapons, but the weapons and gear, and this is how many they have of each. Is in getting in the gear. Another important factor for players is supplies, and that's something they gotta find. This is the amount they have right now, but they will run out. And you do not have to make them run out necessarily a day or every day kind of thing. You as a GM will roll occasionally to see if they lose some due to an extenuating circumstances. They have been trained to refill these on a daily mundane basis kind of a thing. So you only will roll, you only subtract this when they specifically say they want to do something. Like, let's say they want to make a big meal for the village. All right, they got to use up some of their rations for that, and every ration will give them like a little extra bonus to this cooking roll. And if they make a really good roll, they could like really, charm the village and then start evangelizing, right? Breaking bread and stuff. I don't mean charm magic. I just mean, food wise. So you could take off like 4 rations or 6, depending on how big the village is or how big you think the meal ought to be. So that'll subtract from this. So then they got to go out and replenish that, So when they role play things, especially medical, if they decide to use some medical to help heal them, it gives them an extra bonus to their rolls and all that. You spend it, Or what if you have radiation or something? All right, everybody, you got to do a radiation roll. We all take medicine. Okay, I'll get you a bonus to the roll, but you still got to roll. Take off the medicine. And you can be like, it could be 1 medicine, or it could per person, or maybe it's just 1 medicine for the group. It's kind of up to you to decide. I would do per person just to be mean. They got they're taking something and they only got so much. They don't have to use the medical, but if they do, they will deduct from it. And so they got to go out and, and there's a lot of potential for salvage where they could find, replenish these things and like refuel, they again, mundanely, they know how to run a refueling tank and, make some oil, out of organic materials. But you could be like, well, you could do a roll where they have a disaster, and there's a chart in there and stuff, and they will lose, some of their fuel leaked. We need to make some fuel now. So they got to role play that out. Got to go find something. So you don't do it on regular mundane things, but just every now and then you'll see if they have an emergency and these get reduced, or they role play it and it gets reduced. Okay. So that's the how to make a character for the Apoc. Here's the basic explanation of the gear, and this is repairing the gear, like what it would take to repair it, or is it the cost? I don't know. So why didn't I put that on here, like in the chart? I have so many different things I do, and I don't take notes on what I do. I think this is I think it's kind of like both cost and chart. And it's my suggestion. I'll verify and make sure, but right now I don't want to look into it right now. All right, so that's the game. Yeah, I'm still fixing a few things here and there on the Apoc one. If you've bought my Apoc thing or have it now, you will get the update when I do it. Just ask me, email me once I put it up there. I'm still working on it because of the Christian Space. I'm finishing that one, and then I'm going to get them all going the same way. And once I'm done with all that, then I'm going to start creating a couple new settings that I have that I really want to do using the same system. Okay, all right. That's how to make a character in the and this explains the starting gear and supplies too. And here's an optional character sheet. Here's some optional skills, suggested skills that you could pick out if you wanted to use. Okay. And yeah, it's a pretty fun, easy process, and it's for evangelizing and church planning out in the wastelands of the apocalypse. All right. Post-apocalyptic. All right. A game of life. Roll holy dice.